Hi, and welcome to this series of 6 short videos that I've enjoyed making, which aim to help you understand why creating habits or new habits, healthy ones, is really the secret to overcoming any chronic stress or burnout. Now, chronic stress or burnout or most disease is actually a result of 3 different areas in your life. The first one is your daily habits that aren't very supportive, things like going to bed too late, eating the wrong types of foods, not drinking enough water, doing too much, being a perfectionist. There's many things that will contribute to your stress levels in that area. The next thing is it's any health issue that you might be facing. You might be recovering from an illness or an infection, a cough, a cold, or a more serious disease. Any illness at all will mean that your body will need to produce additional stress hormones to recover from that illness. And the last thing is any stress or trauma that you have been exposed to, particularly as a child. Any trauma that you've been exposed to as a child, and it can be simple trauma just as much as being bullying, mum and dad divorced, arguing in the family. Trauma represents different things to different people. And that trauma epigenetically has the potential to alter your stress response system, meaning that you get stressed more easily and you stay stressed for longer. And unless you work on resetting your stress response system, that will continue into your adult years and until you do something about it. But the good news is I am here to help you with that, and in my book 3 Months to Beat Burnout, I have a whole chapter on how to reset your stress response system if you have suffered any trauma. So I've come to realise, after helping lots of people and myself, that to recover from burnout you actually have to reprogram your limbic system. And your limbic system is a part of your brain that actually tells your adrenal glands when to produce stress hormones, and it controls your autonomic nervous system, telling it to either go into fight or flight or to stay in rest and digest. At the moment, if you are suffering chronic stress, chances are that your autonomic nervous system is probably stuck in fight or flight. So we're going to develop some habits to get it out of fight or flight into rest and digest. Rest and digest is the only state where true healing of all disease can occur, where you digest your food better, your sleep improves, your blood pressure improves. Everything improves when you're in rest and digest, which is the big aim of my book and program, 3 Months to Beat Burnout. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to create some new habits, but to understand a little bit about that process, it's helpful to understand that, believe it or not, most of us are operating on what's called automatic pilot about 95% of the day. So 95% of the day we're doing things automatically and we're thinking all the time. The problem with that is when you're on automatic pilot and you're not present, your subconscious brain actually controls what's happening in your life, and it does that through the programs that have been installed in your brain, in your subconscious brain, when you were a child. So by the age of 7, most of us have had lots of programs installed from watching our family and how they operate in life, and sensing the messages that we're receiving from our family about us. We interpret the world and develop these programs based on what we've been exposed to. Children are like sponges, they absorb everything. So if you were lucky enough to grow up in a family where you felt loved and secure and safe, and you received healthy messages about you as an individual, then you're much more likely to be able to express your needs openly. You're much more likely to be drawn to healthy relationships, and you're much more likely to not be stressed and not take on and do too much and suffer with stress-related diseases. However, if you grew up in an environment where you didn't feel safe, your needs weren't met for whatever reason, and you received messages that weren't so positive about yourself, then you're much more likely to actually suffer stress-related diseases, because unfortunately, if you did grow up in that type of environment, which many of us did, some of us develop unhealthy behaviour patterns of believing that the way to earn love is to be a people pleaser, to do too much, to take on too much, or if I work hard enough, I'll earn love. So we become workaholics. There's many reasons why people develop dysfunctional behaviours, but sometimes a dysfunctional family environment can be the cause. So we have to have compassion and understanding for ourselves. So that's the end of this video. Just a little bit of insight as to what causes burnout and why developing new habits is critical to overcoming burnout. Because you know what? If you keep doing the same thing, you'll get the same result. So next video, I've got a whole list of all the different habits. I've put a lot of research into coming up with all the different habits you need to overcome burnout. Thank you very much for listening.